station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what that means. Oh, sit down, Joe. Joe's up and jumping around now already. Living large. You know, Monday Night Football. That's what I'm talking about right there, baby. Football music throughout the show on a Football Friday. That's the only one I get to play. I mean, Joe plays the rest of them. That's the only one that I get to play is that one. And, you know, I know that Joe has it as his ringtone or something like that. I'm sure he plays it. You know, that's the kind of music I like to play, like when I get home from work. You know what I mean? Get home from work and I'm walking in the door, and I just want, as I'm walking through the door, I just kind of like back in, you know, do a little moonwalk, you know what I'm saying? You know, that new dance, the moonwalk thing, you know, kind of back into the door, moonwalking across the dining room, and, you know, and I see the junkyard, maybe do a little spinorama, you know, that kind of just, you know, little white man overbite as you're walking in. I mean, that's just the only way to go. It's the only way to go.
It's the holiest day of the week, the Friday Trifecta.
Yeah, we got that for you, too. Don't worry, we have that for you, too. We have got that coming up for you as well, the old Friday Trifecta. So we'll get to that in a minute as well. But we welcome those of you that are watching on WZZN TV and on this Friday the 13th. I wonder if Friday the 13th has anything to do with the fact that I don't know what's going on over there. I'm looking over there at the YouTube and seeing if we're on, but I don't know if we are or not. It's at WZZN TV, our YouTube channel, and on X as well. You can check it out if you haven't, as well as our listeners on the 97.7 ESPN, the app. Now, it's possible that I'm the one that screwed it up. No, I didn't screw it up. Okay, it's right there. I see it. I thought maybe I didn't even connect with Joe. It's possible. I just got off of a half-hour-long Zoom call. There we are. Got off a half-hour-long Zoom call. I forgot about Zoom because, you know, we don't use that. We use StreamYard for this, but had a half-hour Zoom call, conference call with one of our great suppliers, and you know, that was fun. But in any event, if you want to tune in, you can also see the show on X as well. Check that out if you haven't. And we welcome the listeners at 97.7 ESPN, the app. And those listening over the air in Winchester, Tennessee on ESPN Winchester. Lines are open for you to get in at 256-576-4977, wherever you're listening to the show, from Florida to Virginia to Georgia to Tennessee to Alabama. It's all one phone number, 256-576-4977. You can also text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. Thom Abraham Show exclusive for some 14, 15 years now, I guess. It's a great way to communicate with us. 2009. So since 2009, so 15 years now. Text window is 15 years old. That's pretty cool. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X, 97.7 ESPN. ESPN Winchester is on X, ESPN Winchester. And get all of our apps. Get the apps for all the stations so you can get all this great content and carry it around with you in your pocket. And make sure you keep an eye on the socials and the calendar at 97.7. What games are on where and when? Of course, Army-Navy is coming up on Saturday. And we will have all of your college football playoff action. We got the NFL. Got big triple header coming up on Sunday, we have got Monday Night Football. Next Thursday night's football, Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, it's all good. And don't forget about your big zone deals. You can find that link at 977ESPN.com and on all the socials. You can chow down, play some great golf for half price right now. Give it as a gift. Do a little holiday shopping there. It's good for everybody that can hear me right now. Go ahead and do that. We added Lawler's Barbecue back in there today, which is good at all locations, and it's selling fast. Lawler's Barbecue. And on Monday, we have our listener Christmas party. This is the time when it's the weekend, it's the Friday before the Monday Christmas party. This is the time where I'm freaking out that nobody is coming to the listener Christmas party, and we're going to have no toys except for the toys that Wes and I are going to go buy, and Wolverine Dan is going to drop off, and at LSU Lynch will drop off, and at Grumpy will probably drop off a little quiche. But I'm always fearful at this point in time that nobody is going to show up for the party. I told Bubby's Diner, you come in with an unwrapped gift for a boy or a girl, and you get dinner from Bubby's Diner right there at the location. The kids get to play. You get to play on all the trampolines and the basketball and the golf and everything else. Come one, come all, please. Help us help these children with Toys for Tots. I know you're thinking, well, Toys for Tots, they get a bunch of stuff. Well, you know what? Let's give them more stuff. Especially this year, with the economy being the way it is, it could be a little tough on some families. We're blessed. We should share the blessing. So the Christmas party is brought to you by Talent Heating and Air, TOC Sports, North Alabama Mortgage, and Bubby's Diner, and, of course, Flow Supreme Air, which is at Drake Avenue. Check that out. All right, today's trifecta is heavy on the NFL, because there's not a lot of college football that we care about except for one game. We are getting close to the end of this thing. We're getting very close to closing out Grand Trifecta Season 1 in this deal. And we got a heck of a battle going on, but there's still a lot of room for a lot of players to get in on this deal and make some noise. We have got Kyle with 12 points leading the way over Auburn Mike with 11. Wolverine Dan and Mongo have 10. LSU Lou has 9. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you that have 8. 5 of you that have 7. Bunch of you have 6, 5. Everybody's in this thing. 8 points on the board today. 2 points for every game. Just like last week. 2 points for every game. If you get 3 out of 4 right, you get 6 points. If you get 2 out of 4 right, you get 4 points, okay? You didn't know that the math was going to be in the show, but that's what's going on. So 3 NFL games and a great rivalry kicker in this deal. And remember, the winner gets the VIP package to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl on December 30th. You don't have to worry about missing any other games, because it's the only game that day. The only game that day. Iowa and Missouri. All right. So Joe is a Chiefs fan. Joe Hunk is a Chiefs fan. And I am a Browns fan. So our first pick is Joe Hunk.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
-4.5 against me.
You can't speak Italian just because you have a mustache.
Stretch is way overrated.
In our second game, the Bills.
Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout.
Get 2.5 at Detroit.
We're going to bite a kneecap off. We're going to kick you in the teeth.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new fucking offensive coordinator. This guy sucks.
Get 5.5 at the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Jalen Hurts, the only brother that can't sing. And finally, the Navy gets 6.5 against the Army.
But you can join the Army.
All right, coming up on the show today, at the bottom of the hour, Alan Bell from Driving the Line. He will help you with your picks today. And then at the top of the one, Clint Lamb from Cover Crimson is in as well. Back in Mission Control, playing the Planets That Matter, the Stacks of Wax, keeping us on the air, answering the phones on a very busy day, thinking, what the heck, when I was in Nashville, we had a call screener. Where's our call screener? Don't have one of those, but we got a Joe Hunk.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lisp.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because once you get that third one,
They hit that little 10, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
You're next. So long, Nashville, Tennessee. You can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can tell, it's our time.
Yeah, okay, so Joe, when you were producing, not when you were hosting in Nashville, when you were producing in Nashville, what did you actually do? Did you run the board and then had a call screener, or what was your responsibility when you ran the board?
Well, I'm not here to toot my own horn, Tom, but I was kind of a different bird up there because I could kind of do a lot. So I kind of did everything. I answered the phones. I ran our network. I ran the board. I got audio. I posted the shows. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, but still one guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was with the Big C, in Nashville. All right, when I was with the Big C in Nashville, we had a call screener, an engineer, and a producer. So there was one guy that ran the board, one guy that took care of answering the phones and putting them up on the board, and one guy that did nothing but produce, which meant, looking up stuff on the interwebs and doing the, getting the guests online and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
no.
No. Remember Schaefer?
Oh, no, I do remember Schaefer. Matter of fact, Schaefer and I were talking yesterday. It was, I did everything. I had actually.
He lost a lot of weight, didn't he?
He's lost a ton of weight. And I would have 2 or 3 different keyboards around me that I was working on various computers that were throughout the room. That I had one that was working on an editing computer.
You were a one-man guy.
Yeah, one-man band. Yeah, absolutely. Now, the other shows at times, yes, that they would also be one-man bands as well, but then they would also at times we were getting 1 and 2 other people to potentially sit in there every once in a while to help out because some of the shows can get hectic. But yeah, no, I was one-man band. And so it's the
budget for these shows and those shows were some of the highest rated shows in the country. And the budgets for these shows, I mean, back in the day, the morning show, I mean, they were paying Frank Wyshak about $250.
Yeah.
And they were paying Mark Howard about $175. And they were paying the producer, which was Kevin Ingram, they were paying him about $80, about $75, $80. And this was 15 years ago, 15 years ago. I mean, it's a different world, there now. I mean, that's for sure. And when I got to WNSR, not only did we had a call screener, a producer, and we had a board operator and a social media guy. We had one guy that I think it was Joanne.
Oh, actually, let me add that in too.
All he did, we had one guy that did nothing but social media that was carrying on conversations with people, doing social media stuff. And then there was a different guy running the board and a different guy answering the phones.
Yeah, let me add that too. Social media stuff, posting videos on YouTube, posting them on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, all of that.
So you handled the video as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No wonder you don't bellyache at me about this. Okay, all right, you're doing the same thing. Basically, you're doing the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd love to put 2 guys. I would love to put 2 guys in the room.
Trust me.
Nice to have 2 guys.
I'd love it myself.
Now, get this. When I would go over to Atlanta and I did some stuff over in Atlanta at Dickey Broadcasting at 680 The Fan over there. At 680 The Fan, they had the control room was the size of the studio that you're looking through the window at. That was the control room was that big, and there was at least 5 guys in that control room. I mean, I'm talking 5 guys in it. In fact, you didn't go to it. You weren't back here with us. We went and visited at 680 The Fan when we went to a Braves game last summer with Brandon, and we took some of the guys over there, and it was the same thing. They had Buck Ballou was sitting in the studio by himself, and there were 2 rows of people that were in the control room. They had people doing research. They had people doing social media. They had people doing answering the phones. They had people running the board. I mean, that was the way it is. I would love to just put a second guy in our control room. I'd love there to be 2. I think it's a 2-man job. Someday we'll get there.
Look. No, if you add a second person in here, especially doing social media stuff, posting more videos on YouTube, on X, and those sort of places, even that would just, I mean, absolutely be massive for.
But the person has to be. The person has to be sponsored, because here we eat what we kill. You know what I mean? So it would have to be like social media guy brought to you by XYZ Corp. You
Absolutely.
know?
Yeah, no.
To have his own live reads and things like that.
Again, we could do it like Japan and just instead of just put the sponsor name in front of his name. So instead of
on
like
his forehead.
Yeah, just instead of it would be Joe Hunk, it would be we would just say Flo Hunk. Yeah.
So Joe, have you ever actually been part of the trifecta before, where it's actually you minus 4.5 against me? Screw the teams. I mean, it's you and me.
No, I've not. This is my first time being part of the trifecta. So if I would have known, I may have dressed differently today. I may have thrown some Chiefs stuff on. May have broken out the Mahomes jersey that I have in the closet. I may have done a few things. I've got a Honey Badger jersey in the closet as well that I could have broken out. I would have done a lot of those things. I had no idea. So it's kind of a new. I wasn't expecting this award, so I really didn't write anything down.
Well, you missed the pre-show production meeting.
I was in the bathroom. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if you would have said so, would you have used? Are you okay with me using?
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Is that okay with you?
No,
Is that all right? I mean, I don't know if you're a rock guy at all.
No. I mean, a lot of my stuff is wrestling, so I'm all on board with that. And with Travis Kelce doing
wrestling,
that, yeah.
But I was no. That's
know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
Oh yeah, that's the Kelce one.
Yeah, that's the Kelce version.
Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
I thought it was the Rock one for a moment there.
No, that's Kelce. I mean, honestly, because a lot of times your sound
really good.
Your soundbite sometimes will take jabs at the teams. I thought you may have busted out something from the Hallmark movie that they have on Netflix or something like that. I didn't know where you were going to go.
Did you watch it?
No, I've not watched it. My wife says that she's going to watch it at some point in time.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't let her watch. But preface this to her. They talked about, and I'm a Hallmark Christmas movie fan. We watch one every night now. We are in Hallmark Christmas movie season. We watch one every night, and then I watch the game afterwards. My wife went to sleep at 9, and then I watched the game afterwards on the replay. Or I had delayed it. I had paused it on the Prime, and we watch it. So we watch a Hallmark movie every night right now. We watched that one about a week ago, and they promoted that thing like all last summer. They talked about this great thing and everything. It sucks. It is terrible. And it had 2 or 3 player cameos that are pretty good. The player cameos are better than the actors that are in the thing. It's stupid and it sucks. Okay, so do not waste your time watching a Chiefs Christmas love story or whatever they call it.
You do not have to persuade me to not click on that. You do not have to persuade me on that. I am 100% not clicking on that at all.
Yeah, no, it's not worth the powder to blow at the kingdom come, to Chiefs Kingdom, if you will. All right, we're going to break in. When we come back, we'll start with a first set of callers. We'll do that right after this. We got Alan Bell coming up at the bottom of the hour. I haven't talked to Alan in a minute, so that'll be good as well. And Clinton Lamb coming up at the top of the one. It's the Thom Abraham Show, off and running on a Football Friday.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
Welcome back to the Tom Abraham Show. Multitasking as usual. It'd be nice to just do a show. When you do a show and then just like do a show. That'd be great. You know, it's just great. The award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. They are tremendous. Whether you need a routine checkup or whether you need, if you got a bigger problem, you know, they're expert service technicians. They're going to quickly diagnose it. They use the state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. Take care of everything from checking out belts and hoses and fluids and that kind of stuff to doing air conditioner work or brake work or tranny work. And they got a great body shop down there as well. And they got, that's cool as well. It's Woody Anderson Ford. Absolutely tremendous. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com to make an appointment. Lee Means is going to be real happy with me. Listener Lee Means in Madison, Alabama, if he's listening right now. He'll be right here. I'll back up a little bit. I'm wearing a Garmin hoodie. I don't know if you know. Garmin, my new electronics provider for the Bassmaster Radio Phoenix, and so I got the Garmin hoodie on. Listener Lee works at Garmin. He's like director of something, sales, marketing, whatever, sales. I think he's some kind of regional sales director or something. Great guy, but he'd be pretty happy with me rocking his Garmin hoodie today. All right, let's get to the lines. In order of the longest wait, we start with Big Bama Big Rick. Did you Big Bama Rick?
Yeah, that was yesterday,
Bama
Tom.
Big Rick.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. Bama Big Rick or Big Bama Rick. I don't know. Rick, welcome in. How are you?
It's actually Bama Brad because Big Rick was the last caller on yesterday's show.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was yesterday's?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So Paulie was yesterday, too.
Yeah. Paulie was yesterday, too. And Bama Brad. Yeah, Bama
okay.
Brad right now, yeah.
All right. I like Bama Brad. I like that guy. Let's talk to him. Well, no, I like Rick and Paulie, too. I'm just saying. Bama Brad's good. Bama Brad, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, big dog? I'm fine. How are you?
You are, man. I'm fantastic.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. You sound like I'm on a speaker, but I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I got my earphones in, so earbuds, and I'm out here in the shop working. Hey, One quick thing, and I won't take up much time because I know Grumpy don't like me to do that on Football Friday, but how long do you think it's going to be before Belichick hits that 20-hour rule change?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be in play for Belichick. I mean, that's going to be pretty hilarious. It's going to be like Tuesday of week 1 at like 4:00 in the afternoon, and somebody's going to say, "Hey, Bill, we're done with the kids for the week," and he's like, "The hell we are." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not going to work out well. I do have a reaction, by the way, which I'm going to get to sometime today. I got reaction to the Belichick hire as to whether or not he'll be successful. I got some of that. It's quite interesting.
Yep, it's going to be interesting. All right, hey, let me get these picks in.
All right, Joe is -4.5 against me. Of course, that's Chiefs and Browns.
Well, that's a no-brainer. Give me the Chiefs.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
I'll be honest. I don't know why the line is. It's actually 4 right now. That's surprising to me that it's down to -4.5.
Sorry, Tom. Your Browns are as bad as my Bears.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, come on. The Bills are +2.5 at the Lions.
I'm sorry, Wolverine Dam. I'm going with the Bills.
Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout.
He texted his picks in, and I got news for you. He took the Bills too.
I heard him on the Joe and Baby A's show this morning. He took them, so I think he's trying to go that way. Just so if he loses, he doesn't hurt so bad. But yeah, that defense is really beat up right now. So I got to have the Bills.
So he goes on the morning blitz and does his trifecta picks there. Is that what he did?
No, I don't.
He just kind of previewed. He's like, I'm really thinking about doing it on Tom's show. That's what he kept saying.
Yeah.
Well, he's at his granddaughter's Christmas recital, so he says I'll miss the show. I'm at my granddaughter's. What granddaughter Christmas recital is 2 hours, unless they're taking them to like Baumhauer's afterwards or something. All right, the Steelers get 5.5 at the Eagles.
You know, I'm on the Eagles to win this whole thing, but they got so much going on up there right now. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Steelers on this one. I think the Eagles.
Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new offensive coordinator. This guy sucks.
It's just a lot of points. You know, I think the Eagles win the game, but that's a lot of points.
In an NFL game, that's a lot.
Navy gets 6.5 against the Army in Washington.
Now, my family's Army. Go Army, beat Navy.
All right, Brad, we got you in.
All right, y'all have a good weekend.
Joe, would you have the call screener text Alan Bell and let him know we're running a little bit late? I want to get Smokey Mike in here so he can get back to work.
I'll let him know.
Yeah, have that.
I'll let him know to let him know. Yeah.
Yeah, let our people know that. Smokey Mike, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm a little bit better than you, big dog. I mean, I at least realize that it's Friday.
Yeah. It is Friday.
Oh, I've had many of those moments with you, and it's just, every time I hear stuff like that, it makes me laugh. And it makes
I'm losing my mind, is what it is. That's part of it.
You've lost your mind since 2015, big dog. Let's be real. I mean, it's been 10 years.
Not 10 years, about 8 years.
The only thing that keeps you sane is the babe. That's the only thing that keeps you sane.
Well, she definitely keeps me in line. That's for sure about that. You got that right. She told me this. She told me I can't drink coffee anymore in the afternoon. She says I stay up too late at night. Yeah, like I'm up till midnight, 12:15, 12:20. It's my happy place. No, my happy place is my barn, but it's my other happy place is after it's all quieted down and everything is quieted down and my phone doesn't go off anymore after 10 o'clock and everything is settled. Then I just sit there and I watch some fishing stuff and I watch some old football games and I'll watch some government stuff, some political stuff. I just kind of chill out and then and get up at 6.
You got to unwind a little bit. That's the same thing I do.
Exactly. But she's like,
my wife gets mad when I don't get up at 8 in the morning, and like I get up at 9:30, and she's like, "What the hell did you do for an hour and a half?"
And I put my things in. I put my earbuds in, and I listen to it. I mean, it's not like the TV's on, and it's on, but she just rolls over and goes to sleep. And I put my earbuds in so I don't make any noise. And the dog is laying at the foot of the bed. And I just sit there, me and the dog. Well, she'll look up every once in a while, check what's going on the TV, see if I'm watching a dog video. And, that's the routine. And she's like, can can you shut it down? And she goes to sleep at like 9. She goes like, can you shut it down at like 11? So like, I'm like, I can't. And she's like, well, stop drinking coffee in the afternoon. So I got to stop drinking coffee. What are you gonna do?
Drink the cold brew. You'll be good.
There you go. As if that doesn't have the caffeine in it. I'm gonna cut back. I'm gonna go with Diet Mountain Dew instead. That's got to have the caffeine. All right. Joe is minus 4.5 against me.
Wait, what?
The Chiefs. Joe Hunk's Chiefs. He's minus 4.5 against my Browns at Cleveland.
Oh my God! I completely forgot Joe was a Chiefs fan. Because
he's a Chiefs fan. That's the only reason I put this game on there. That's the only reason I put the game on there, because it's Joe and me head to head, and he's giving me 4.5.
Play Kermit the Frog.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
The Bills get 2.5 at the Lions.
I guess, give me Josh Allen.
Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout.
Steelers get 5.5 at the Eagles.
Before I make my pick, I feel like that there was a missed opportunity with a sounder on the Bills because of a broken table. I mean, you could have had Jim Ross do something with a broken table on that one. And
I don't have a staff. I don't have a staff anymore to do that kind of find those things for me. I know, but Joe's got a million things to do. He's got his own stuff to do. You know what I mean? So he's got his own show. I'm lucky I get him to answer the phone. I mean, he's doing his own show. He's doing the videos. He's doing all this stuff. And, and then he's doing other stuff in the office. So I don't really have anybody anymore to kind of go find crap for me like that.
Well,
I used to have a guy. I used to have to tell him to do it.
I know what all Joe had to do, but I mean, I didn't have to do office staff work. I mean,
no, he's doing more than any. Yeah, he's doing, and you didn't have your own show to do, so so it's a little different. But yeah.
Well, you know what? I mean, give me the Steelers on that one, just because. I mean, I don't know what the heck's going on with any team in the NFC. It's all ridiculous.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new offensive coordinator. This guy sucks.
All right, and Navy gets 6.5 against the Army.
Them Jolly Roger uniforms look mighty nice, and my whole family's been Air Force, so I'm not any big play on this one. So give me the Navy.
Yeah, my daddy's Navy, and I can't tell him that I'm pulling for the Army. Of course, I could tell him. He'd probably forget by tomorrow anyway. So, all right. Good job by you, Mike. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, sir.
Well, it's not like I got people just running around doing that stuff for the show, and I'm lucky I get on the air.
If that ain't the truth.
Tell me about it. You heard it. I connected at 52. I'm running around trying to. It's not like there's a staff of people that are, hey, let's go find Tom. The last guy I had that did that kind of stuff was Jason Marks, where he just unprompted would go. Now, if I said to Joe, go find me this interview, Joe would do it in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're doing a heartbeat. But I try not to overwhelm him with more stuff to do because he's got plenty to do. Jason Marks used to just do stuff like that for me, but that's all his job was. That was what he was, a full-time assistant PD. We don't even have a full-time PD. Our PD does other stuff.
For real.
It's true. I mean, it's, one day you're PDing, the next day you're hosting a show, and the next day you're pulling wire.
Absolutely. And like measuring and fixing desks.
Yeah.
And chairs and
stuff.
stuff.
Another thing. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back. Alan Bell will join us next from Driving the Line, and we'll get his picks on these games, too. So maybe, he's pretty smart cookie. We'll see what he has to say. We'll do that next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Brought to you by G-Bank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. VSiN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
Atlanta Falcons in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. They're the 4-point road favorite this week at the Las Vegas Raiders, who have dropped 9 consecutive games. The total 44.5 on a Monday night in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Coming up today, it's Thursday Night Football. The San Francisco 49ers, 3-point favorites over the L.A. Rams. The total 49 at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Matthew Stafford over-under passing prop bet 240.5 yards, 1.5 touchdowns shaded to the over. Brock Purdy 250.5 passing yards, 1.5 touchdowns. That number is shaded to the over. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977ESPN.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A cloudy start expected for this Friday will gradually become partly sunny by the afternoon. High temperatures looking to top out in the mid-50s. Heading into our Friday night, we'll sit under a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures falling into the low 40s for the overnight. Rain returns back into the forecast heading into the weekend. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
You chill out when you're supposed to chill out. You work when you're supposed to work. You don't chill out when you're supposed to be working.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. Whether you're listening in Tennessee or in Alabama or in Florida, North Alabama Mortgage is the answer for you. Average home equity now at an all-time high. But so is your average consumer debt. Get rid of that debt by refinance your property, and then as the rates come down even more, then you can go ahead and refinance again. I mean, it costs you about a month's worth of payments to do it, but look at all the money you will save by getting rid of that high-interest credit cards and high-interest student loans and whatever else it is that you got. And if you're thinking about a home improvement, that's the same thing. I mean, use the equity now, refi later. North Alabama Mortgage. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. Thank you to North Alabama Mortgage for helping us bring you the Christmas toy drive on Monday, 5 o'clock, over at Flow. So we'll want to see you there. And, again, bring a toy for a boy or girl, and you get free admission. You get food from Bubby's Diner, and you get to run at a place, which is really cool. And you get to meet, Joe Hunk. How often do you get to meet a dude like that? All right, let's go to the lines. Alan Bell joins us, and, of course, he of Driving the Line. AB, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Big dog, doing fantastic, man. And I'll tell you what, first off, good to hear your voice. Good to be back. Appreciate you having me. And yeah, who wouldn't drive down to go see Hunk? I mean, come on.
I love you guys.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if you get a chance to see Hunk, you know what I mean? It's like now we'll probably have to put him like in a little cage or something, make sure he doesn't, bite anybody or anything like that. But, how often do you get to see it? How often do you get to see a Mohawk anymore? Right? You don't see that very much anymore.
It's like a Sasquatch, man.
I keep telling him at Halloween he needs to dress up as Chief Wahoo from the Cleveland Indians, just to do.
There you go.
Be perfect, for him.
I love it.
Jeez.
I love it.
So tell people about Driving the Line and what you guys do there, and because I know you're doing some tremendous work there on at the site.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's called Driving the Line. Me and a guy named Jonathan Coachman, if you remember from.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Coach.
Yeah,
I know Coach. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, man. Me and Coach, we started this company back in January, and really what we wanted to do was continue what we were doing at CBS and really branch out on our own. And we did that and built up a really great digital media company, right? And really what we're focused on are content shows, man. You can find us on YouTube at Driving a Line. We got a daily 10 a.m. Eastern sports betting show, and then we're adding more and more as we go. Yeah, man, come check us out. I think you'll really enjoy it.
It was a rough November for some handicappers. I don't know how you did. I know I struggled a little bit in November, and some of the guys that come on the show regularly that are handicappers had a rough November. They bounced back from them, but man, it's been a little tricky throughout this season, both college and pro. It's been a different animal.
Yeah, it absolutely has. I mean, first off, in college football, it feels like, ever since the college football playoff was announced, you look around, and really this is more the transfer portal. You got a lot more parity, around, not only the landscape as a whole, but, these conferences, right, man? And some of it's good, like I enjoy it, but from a betting perspective, really difficult. And, yeah, the NFL feels like we've got 5 really good football teams and then everybody else. You know what I mean? And that makes it difficult. And I'll tell you what, the sports books cashed in last night, man. They made money on that game last night.
Yeah, that was crazy. I wish I had the under in that game. I laid off of that game altogether, to be honest with
Smart.
you. But it was, that was a tough one. All right, so I've got 4 games here that our listeners are picking. So I figured I'd run them through you, and they can get your advice, and then we'll see whether or not that helps them out or not. We have taken some picks already on the show, and everybody's going the same way. Now, as you know, Joe is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I am a Cleveland Browns fan. So we put this game in there only so that it could be Joe versus Tom. Okay, so the question is, do you like the Chiefs?
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
-4.5 against my team, the Browns.
You can't speak Italian just because you have a mustache.
Right, so which way would you go on that one? The Chiefs don't blow anybody out, it seems. Yeah.
No, they don't. And that was a great Family Guy reference right there. I'm speaking Italian. Look, let me say, the Browns, all the way. I'll tell you this. I think the Browns win this game outright. I like what the Browns' attitude is. Yep, absolutely, man. I like where this team is going. And nothing negative against the Chiefs, but I do think that at some point, man, the NFL, like we just talked about, it's hard to just keep going and going and going. Like, losses are going to happen. And this is the most dangerous team for a Chiefs team to face. A Browns team that, quote-unquote, has nothing to play for, but they've got a quarterback who will throw it all over the field, and he'll go 50 times. He's not afraid to do it. Jameis Winston is, look, I like him. His teammates always like him. You never hear players say a negative thing about him. He's goofy, but they like him. And notice teams get sparks from him. Nick Chubb's running the football. Look, man, I'm taking the Browns. I'll take it with the points, but you want to take them outright? I'm with it.
Yeah, I mean, on any given Sunday, I mean, Jameis Winston will throw 6 touchdown passes, 4 for my team and 2 for the other team. So, I mean, that's our boy Jameis Winston. All right, so you're going with the Browns there, and the Chiefs. I mean, how many times are they going to doink a ball in on field goal and they're going to score late? I mean, it's just been. They're like Dracula. You got to drive a stake through their heart to get them, to kill that team. They just keep battling. But, you're right. I mean, winning them all is tough. Just to keep winning is nuts. All right, the team that beat them.
Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout.
They get 2.5 in Detroit against everybody's favorite coach.
We're going to bite a kneecap off. We're going to kick you in the teeth.
I wish you had that guy in Nashville. So what do you think about that one? Bills getting 2.5 on the road against a beat-up Lions defense, but, it's the Lions.
Oh, I'm taking the Lions here. You can give me Lions with the points, and I'll tell you why. Number one, look, both these teams, I would love if this was a Super Bowl. You could sign me up for that right now.
Could
I'm
happen.
all in, all right? Yep, Bills offense playing great. The Bills have been playing great for 8 games in a row, man. They scored 30-plus points. I think it's 7 of them. Here's the deal. Jared Goff and the Lions, Ben Johnson, their OC, Jared Goff just came. Well, not just came, but he played under Sean McVay and the Rams, and he just saw what the Rams offense did against the Bills defense. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions come out and emulate a lot of that. And with the Bills, look, their pressure's there because they have to keep winning because the darn Chiefs keep winning, right? So I give you the home team here. If you're going to give me points with that good of a football team, I'll take it, man. Give me Detroit.
Well, no, the Bills are getting the 2.5, not the Lions, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's right. The Bills are getting the 2.5 at the Lions. Yeah. It's not enough.
The Lions minus 2.5. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. The Lions. See, the thing I think about the Lions, this is a measuring stick game, and I think he'll have those guys flying high because I think at times they get a little bored. I mean, it's almost like a team like the Chiefs, a championship team that beats everybody. Well, the Lions have been kind of roughing up everybody, and I think they've been getting a little bored here and there. And but boy, the Bills are going to have their full attention, and we're going to really see a little bit more about the Lions. So I agree with you on that one for sure. All right, the Battle of the Keystone State.
Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new offensive coordinator. This guy sucks.
I don't know. He's not that bad, I don't think. I think they're all right there with Russ in their quarterback. They get 5.5 at Jalen Hurts and the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly!
So Jalen's the only brother that can't sing, but there he is. So Steelers plus 5.5 at the Eagles.
Yeah, look, man, I'm going with the Eagles here. And look, anybody betting against the Steelers all season long has lost a lot of money. And I love Mike Tomlin. Dude, he is an amazing football coach. And that's an amazing football team. But there's no Pickens, all right? And this Eagles defense is for real. And I think that this is going to be a big rallying game for Philadelphia playing this one at home. I am all in on Philadelphia here. Minus 5.5, I'll absolutely take that. I kind of think Philly might blow them out.
All right, in our final game, this is the best rivalry game in all of college football. As much as I love rivalry games, there's nothing better than this. But the Navy they're getting 6.5 at the Army.
But you can join the Army.
And you can't pick the under 39. You got to pick a side.
Oh, I'll tell you this. First off, all right, look, I'll take Army with the points against the spread here. I think that they are just that much better of a team than Navy. And I don't want the under. I want the over. I
do too.
Points in this one. Yep, absolutely, man. I love the over in this game. But, yeah, I'll take Army. This is a good football team. And so is Navy. So we're not saying that it's not. And this game is always awesome to watch, man. It's really, really cool. But, yeah, man, Army, I'll take them against the spread. And, yeah, give me that over. I'm feeling some points on this one.
I mean, this game goes to the under like 82, 85% of the time, but it's usually in the mid-40s. They keep pushing it down. Now they're down to 39. Army might throw 39 up there themselves. I mean, yeah, I agree with the over. I mean, I think that's the best pick on the board. There, and maybe that's a master of the obvious. All right, it's called Driving the Line. It's on the YouTube. Go check it out with Jonathan Coachman, Alan Bell, and AB. It's great to catch up with you and talk to you, and let's keep a little conversation going through the playoffs and, both the college and NFL playoffs. Let's do it.
Man, absolutely. I look forward to it, buddy, and obviously my man Hunk as well. Good to talk to you boys, both of you, man. We'll talk soon.
Love you, bro.
Alan Bell. Good stuff. Now, did your wife go to his wedding too, or I mean, are you like it? Were you his best man at his bar mitzvah, or what's your connection to AB?
AB and I have done a few shows together. When we
Really?
we did a few shows in Nashville together. Matter of fact, it was probably around this time last year that he and I hosted a few shows together. Matter of fact, he and I were talking about his new work over there, because I told him, I was like, dude, you went like AWOL for like it felt like months. He's like, yep. He goes, just working on this and getting everything going. And he's like, so I got a lot of stuff happening right now. I was like, bro, I'm whatever. He's been talking to CBS about me as well. So yeah, absolutely.
He was a listener of mine back in Nashville, back in my Nashville days, and he ended up being a regular on the show. I mean, he was a regular on the show for quite a while here, and then I kind of laid off him a little bit. But when I had a 4-hour show, I needed more guests, so he would be a regular on the show. With a 2-hour show, he's just kind of intermittently in there. So AB's good people, though. All right, we get a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up hour number 1. We'll set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Lots of wise and well-informed car buyers wait all year long for this time of year because they know year-end deals are worth the wait. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. We've got 700 Fords for you to choose from. And if you've had your eye on a 24 F-150, Explorer, Expedition, or Escape, listen up. Come and see us at Woody Anderson Ford today, and you'll drive home with no payments for 90 days, plus get financing as low as 1.9% for 60 months and $1,000 in bonus cash. This is good, and it bears repeating. Come get your best year-end deal on a 24 F-150, Explorer, Expedition, or Escape, and you'll keep your cash for the holidays and make no payments for 90 days. You'll also get financing as low as 1.9% for 60 months. Plus, we're going to throw in $1,000 holiday bonus cash. The year end is here, and we've got the deals that make it worth the wait. With your good credit, these offers end December 31st, only at Woody Anderson Ford. I'm Bobby White, and I hope to see you soon.
Big Zone Deals, Big Zone Deals, get your Big Zone Deals. I may not be a great singer, but I am great at finding a deal, and I just came across the mother load. Just log on zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net, and you can stuff those stockings with $50 gift certificates for half price at great restaurants like Sea Salt Urban Oyster Bar, Full Moon Barbecue, Bubby's Diner, Coralejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Lawler's Barbecue, Bigfoot's Little Donuts, Apple Lane Farms in Decatur, and Metro Diner. And how about half-price certificates for the kids at Flow Trampoline Park, or the ultimate virtual reality experience at Divergence Huntsville? Got a golfer on your list? Check out half-price deals at Gunner's Landing and Cherokee Ridge. Black Friday deals don't hold a candle to Big Zone Deals, but these are limited, and when they're gone, they're gone. Shop now and save. Go to zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net. Fill those stockings without emptying your wallet. zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Mostly clear sky expected for this Friday night. Temperatures going to fall into the low 40s for the overnight. Heading into our Saturday, scattered showers going to be possible mainly in the afternoon. Otherwise, you can expect to see mostly clouds. High temperatures topping out in the upper 50s. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, Clinton Lamb will be joining us. Another guy who used to be a regular on the show for years. Clinton was a listener years ago. He ended up hosting for a while, and it just seems to happen that way with me. Remember that Johnny Ballpark Franks guy? He was a listener in Nashville. I helped him get on the air. It's crazy the way this works out. Anyway, Clinton Lamb from Cover Crimson That Drew Armand dude used to be a guest on my show. When he was with Alabama Intel or something like that. He was my recruiting guy. The savant that he was. And he ended up on a radio. I don't know what it is. All right, Clint Lamb is next. Right here on a Football Friday on the Thom Abraham Show.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
97.7 The Zone.
Now on Saturday, you are willing to give a little extra. Then you, because of your preparation and the things I'm trying to get across to you, and if we do that as a team, 11 at the time, 4 years from now, we'll be walking out of here national champion. And I'll tell you this, I expect nothing less.
97.7 The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Selfish is one word. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan and a handful of players, tight end George Kittle and cornerback Jarvarius Ward among them, are using to describe what linebacker Devondre Campbell did during the loss to the Rams. He refused to enter the game, told coaches he didn't want to play, and left the field. Campbell lost his starting job when Dre Greenlaw returned from a torn Achilles. Regarding the next steps, Shanahan said the team will figure out something on how to deal with matters going forward. In a mutual decision, the Dolphins released receiver Odell Beckham Jr. with 4 weeks left in the regular season. OBJ, who started the season on the PUP list following off-season knee surgery, had 9 catches for 55 yards in 9 games this season with Miami. Lindsey Vonn will return to World Ski Cup racing next weekend for a pair of events in Switzerland as she continues her comeback at the age of 40.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. So glad that you are with us here on a Football Friday. We do have a Friday trifecta for you. We'll get back to that. We are scheduled to talk to Clinton Lamb here in the next few moments. We'll see if that shakes out. If not, we'll get the phone lines open. This segment of the show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, who's stepping up once again. They're so involved in the community. They step up once again to help us out with the toy drive on Monday. We hope to see you there on Monday as well. Now, look, I will not be on my show on Monday, right? Joe, you wrote that in your little notepad, right, when we were having the meeting the other day, that I'm no Thom Abraham on the Thom Abraham Show on Monday?
That is on Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
right?
that may be an issue. Sorry.
Wasn't it? No, I didn't write that. You didn't write that in there? Yeah, I saw you writing notes. You were making notes during the show. During the
I'm also trying to talk to Clint and get him on for you right now.
No, I mean on.
God, you're on.
On
Mind your
Monday, or on
business right
Tuesday.
now.
On Tuesday, you were taking all them notes. Yeah, I saw you had a little notepad out and everything. And I said, by the way, guys, Monday, Big Dog's not in.
No. I'm gonna make it work. Yeah, I can make it work. I remember actually. I think I did write that down, and then something came up yesterday, and I totally forgot about it. And I made an appointment, and so now I've got to remake that appointment. So no problem at all. I've got it under control, Tom. We will be ready to go on Monday. Also, Clint is ready.
Unless you get one of the other guys, there are other guys.
No. When do I ever say no to anything?
Okay, all right. That's a good job by you. All right, Clint Lamb does a tremendous job of covering the Tide and has for years. Crimson Covers is where you will find him, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. It's been a minute since we talked to him. Clint, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom. How you doing today?
I am great. It's good to hear your voice once again. How's things going as a dad? I know that was a big thing. No, wait a minute. You got married. No, wait a minute. You had a baby, too, didn't you, or no?
No baby, but I did get married.
Married? How's things going? Are
you breaking some news to me right now, Tom?
I'm not telling you.
Congratulations!
I'm not saying anything about anything. I don't know nothing about nothing. No. You got married. That's what it was. I knew it was some big life-changing thing that happened in the last year for you, but marriage is good, right? I mean, that's a cool thing. I recommend it highly.
Oh, yeah, it's been great. I tell everybody, I mean, she's already kind of whipped me into shape. Really, the only difference now is if I screw up, I lose half my stuff. So
yeah,
I walk a pretty straight line, Tom.
Yeah, well, that is it. That is good stuff. Also, walking a straight line has been Jalen Milroe, and you can say what you want. There are times when he was frustrating, to the fans because his skill set was different. I mean, it wasn't like he was a guy that was going to run around and throw for a super high percentage and hit all the outs and the underneath stuff. And obviously a good deep ball thrower in his career, with dynamic with his legs. There were things that made us scratch our head during the season. The Oklahoma debacle, where they just run the same thing over and over again, and maybe some misreads there on the read option. But you can't ask for a better people. I mean, the guy, he wins the student athlete award in the country. He is well-spoken. He's respectful. He's showing up and going to play that game against Michigan. You couldn't ask for a better dude, right, than what Jalen Milroe has given this team over the past several years.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing about it. I think, for the most part, I think pretty much every fan can agree that he's given his all to Alabama. Some people, with the way they view things and the expectations and the pressures, they would probably view his time as the starting quarterback is falling short, but I don't think anybody would say that was anything through a lack of effort, right? So, I mean, that's the first thing you got to look at with him is just he's done everything he can to help Alabama. He is a very different skill set. We've seen 3 offensive coordinators who have kind of struggled to learn how to work around some of his strengths and also try to mask some of his weaknesses with, mixed results. But, when he's been on his game and they've had a good game plan and him running the football has been effective or his vertical passing game has been on, I mean, he's been one of the most dynamic players in the country. From a consistency factor, definitely would not describe him as the most consistent quarterback Alabama has had, in the last several years. But, I mean, he's a guy who's still growing. I guarantee you if he chooses to enter the NFL draft, that's going to be a big topic of conversation as far as, what some of his weaknesses are. But what you will hear is, a lot of these NFL teams are going to believe in their ability to develop him and get the most out of him. And so, I still think he's going to be a high-round draft pick if he chooses to come out. Or do I think he'll be a day-one guy? It is very possible with the tools there, but it's also possible he could go through that Will Levis, Malik Willis type where we're talking about him being a first-round pick, and then just from a fact that he's not quite ready and won't be ready soon, they end up falling to day 2 sometime because teams, the head coaches can't always wait on them based off of how the teams are doing. So that'll be an interesting conversation, but he loves Alabama. He's given Alabama his all. And, I give him and the other guys who are playing in the bowl game a lot of credit because we've seen what happens when guys don't have that mentality with Florida State last year. And we can see how that kind of trickled over into this year and how everything fell apart for him. So, I mean, I'm not trying to take a shot at Florida State, but I think it's pretty clear looking, at least right now, the cultures in Tuscaloosa compared to Tallahassee are quite different.
Well, the way the NFL overdrafts quarterbacks, I suspect he will be a first-day quarterback because most people have him around, 3 or so, somewhere in there in terms of, quarterback rankings. And there always seems to be 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks picked. Remember, 5 went before Bo Nix went, and he was a 14th pick in the first round. And they had already drafted 5 quarterbacks in front of him, and he's off to a great start to his career. I'm not sold on Jalen Milroe as an NFL quarterback, but I love his mindset. So, we'll see how all of that works out. You mentioned the other guys. First of all, go the other way. Do you know of any opt-outs yet? Because this was the Nick Saban thing, and this is one of the very positive things that we're seeing out of Kalen DeBoer is that this is a thing that he is able to carry over from the Saban years where the guys always played right to the bitter end. Of course, they were generally playing for a national championship or a playoff. But in any event, they're showing up and playing right down the stretch. Do you know of anybody that's opted out yet?
No one's that's opted out. And, I mean, granted, that's for, like early entrance to the NFL. Obviously, some guys are electing into the transfer portal. There will be a mixed bag probably as far as who chooses to stay on through the bowl game, who decides to go ahead and leave. Obviously, if they're playing in the playoffs, you would probably get a lot more of guys sticking around until, all that stuff happened. But, I mean, and that's the world we live in. But from a culture standpoint, I think everybody, even teams that are participating in the playoffs, Georgia and Texas and, some of these others, they're losing guys to the portal and they're choosing to go ahead and get where they're going. So that's nothing wrong with Alabama at all. When you talk about, like you said, the NFL side of it, and guys, potentially leaving early, nothing on that front that would make you think that many guys would be sitting out of the bowl. And that, I mean, I can't tell you, even though Nick Saban's gone and this is now Kalen DeBoer's show, the fact that you still got guys who have kind of had that mentality and seen it with Bryce Young and Will Anderson and other guys, dating back to 2019 with Jerry Jeudy and others. I mean, it's kind of a culture thing in Alabama, and it's good to see that that's kind of sticking around because, that's, as I said, I mean, we've seen the other side of it, and it never looks very good.
Speaking of the portal, is there an Alabama player or players that you look at and you say that entered the portal and you say, ooh, that one hurts? I mean, I didn't want to see Kendrick Law leave, and I want to see Jaheim Otis, but he wasn't really playing a whole ton. But is there any of these guys that you looked at and you said, oh, that one's a real problem?
Honestly, Caleb Odom was one that I thought.
I like that kid.
Yeah, and he's young, and really a lot of people will point and say, hey, I mean, they were playing him quite a bit down the stretch, and he wasn't doing much with his opportunities. Now, granted, young player, and he just even though he was playing, he was kind of like Malik Benson the year before, where he's getting, now obviously Benson was playing way more and he was starting a lot of those games, but it was kind of a similar situation where you're seeing a lot of snaps but not seeing a lot of targets. And so he just didn't capitalize on the few that he was getting. But, that's a guy who you look at Kalen DeBoer's offense, big-bodied X receiver, kind of needed that size element to kind of complement some of the other things that you have. And, it's like, okay, they bring in Derek Meadows. He's a guy with a lot of length and size and has a lot of that ability as well, but he's very raw. So, that's one that I was, I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but it was a little bit, a lot of people were saying that it was possible that he would enter the portal. I just thought, hey, based off of the fact they're starting to get more playing time, they're going to probably sell this vision of a post-Jalen Milroe, throwing the football around a little bit more, being able to get more than just two receivers consistently involved. I thought they'd be able to kind of sell him on that. So that's probably the biggest surprise. Dylan Lonergan was not a surprise, but that's one that's like everybody knows how talented he is, and I think everybody's kind of in agreement that he's probably going to go somewhere and end up being a pretty darn good player for somebody. So you never want to lose guys like that. But, I wouldn't say anybody's been overly shocking up to this point. But, it's still early in this process. We'll have to wait and see if it stays that way.
Lonergan is interesting because you remember, of course, 2 years ago before it ended up being Jalen Milroe's show, during the summer, going into camp and through camp, there was all these rumors that were coming out that, hey, did you hear Dylan Lonergan's going to win this job? He's going to be the quarterback. And now you almost wonder whether or not he, obviously was kind of reading the tea leaves here. It seems like Ty Simpson would maybe have the first shot at it. The Mac kid is a big, good-looking athlete there. And then, of course, they're bringing in what most people think is the number 2 quarterback in the entire country, and Keelan Russell, number 1 kid out of Texas. And you figure, where does Lonergan fit into all of that? So he's got to go. It's time. I think he's been hanging around 3 years. So it's time for him to go and have an opportunity to play somewhere else. And I don't think that quarterback room is gonna struggle too much. How much competition do you think? And let's just go ahead and say Jalen Milroe is gone. He's not hanging around. He's not coming back. Will it be a real live competition, or do you think it's Ty Simpson's gig, and let's see if anybody can take it from him?
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be a competition. I think at the very least, it'll be probably what we saw a couple of years ago, where you've got other, I'm sure Mac will get some opportunities as well. I think all 3 probably will. Ty Simpson should be the assumed starter. I think people are kind of sleeping on him a little bit. Everybody talks about how he hadn't looked all that great when he's coming into some of these games. And, I've talked a lot about how when you come in at the end of these games, first of all, it's sometimes they'll let them sling it around a little bit, but it's an offense that's really designed around the Jalen Milroe style of quarterback. And then you're throwing on the, Ty Simpson in on the fly, and you're just asking him to kind of get through it. You want him to get some passing reps. You don't want him just turning around and handing the football off. But we kind of saw it when Bryce Young would come in at the end of games for Mac Jones back in 2020, where it's like the offenses you're going to run with those 2 guys are completely different. And Bryce Young didn't look all that great, and that made people question him going into that offseason. Would Paul Tyson potentially beat him out? And that was never realistic. With this year, with the guys that they have behind Ty Simpson, I do think it is more realistic. But Ty Simpson, I think, if you see an offense built around him and his skill set, what is that going to look like? And I think that, you'll end up seeing a much improved Ty Simpson compared to what you've seen in some of these games. But we'll just have to wait and see. I do think Keelan Russell will get opportunities. I'm not saying he's demanding being the starting quarterback, but I do think he at least wanted the opportunity to compete for the starting job, and I think he'll get that opportunity. And, a lot of people have asked me, okay, well, you lose Jalen Milroe, you lose Dylan Lonergan, you got 3 quarterbacks. A lot of these teams, in an ideal situation, they want 4. From an experience factor, Ty Simpson's been in the system for a while. He doesn't have a whole lot of playing experience. Russell's a freshman. Mac's a third-year player who's barely seen any snaps, less than 20 probably in his career. Is it possible that they target someone in the transfer portal? And my response to that is I think you got your guy who you expected to be in Ty Simpson, who's kind of earned this opportunity. You've got the freshman phenom that everybody wants to see. And then you've got a really, really promising guy like Austin Mack, who's also in the mix, who the coaching staff brought with them. They obviously like him. And I think, when you see these five-star quarterbacks to this degree coming in, it's kind of rare that you don't see them at least be the backup. Like Nico Iamaleava last year, or Bryce Young when he was brought in, he was kind of almost immediately elevated to the number 2. And that way, at the end of these games and stuff, you're getting them those valuable reps. They're not your starter at the time, but then you're hoping by the time they take over that they can be kind of ready as ready as they're going to be. And so I think with Keelan Russell, you want him taking those number 2 snaps in practice and getting that experience and getting the mop-up duty when it's possible. If Ty Simpson wins the job, and then maybe he's ready to take over. It depends on what happens with Ty Simpson following this next year. But I just think the quarterback room is still in really good shape. I don't really see a reason in going after, someone in the portal right now. Granted, if you see these guys in the spring and you come out of the spring thinking you need to add something, whatever that might be, it might be a different story. But I think for now, it's a really good group, and I would expect these guys to compete hard. I would be shocked if Alabama didn't get really good quarterback play out of one of these guys in 2025.
No, I would agree with you, and and I think they need to get Keelan needs to get into the training room, right? Russell needs to mix in a hamburger here or there. I mean, that's a skinny kid right now, so he needs a good season in the weight program and in the nutrition program. Put a little bit of weight on that 175-pound frame as well. Clint Lamb with us here talking some Alabama. What level of concern, if at all, do you have with the fact that there's only 2 Alabama kids in this incoming class, and they're not like understanding that, Ryan Williams would have been in this class if he hadn't requalified, and he was a top player in the state for sure, if not one of the top players, obviously, in the entire country. But you get a couple of middling, offensive linemen out of the state, and the rest of these kids are from all over the place, and 7 from California. These aren't kids that grew up necessarily with a script A over their bed. And, this would be a little bit of a culture shock, I think, for those guys. We've certainly seen guys from California perform well at Alabama. But I want, when it gets hard and hot and all those things, you just wonder how quickly some of those guys could end up in the transfer portal. What was your take on this, a number 2 class in the country, but a class that is not exactly loaded with guys from the dirty South?
That is something to keep an eye on. I understand why it happened. I think, and Kalen DeBoer's talked about it a lot as far as, it was his first year coming down to the South. He had already established those relationships out on the West Coast, and there's a lot of talent out there. And he's looking at some of that talent and talent that he really couldn't get to Washington. But now you're at a place like Alabama with that brand, and it's like, man, I can go after some of these guys like Dijon Lee and others and really kind of make sure I hang on to some of them or get some of them and really improve or continue to build on the talent and depth that's already on this roster. Now that he's going to have had, time in the state of Alabama, he's gotten more comfortable in the area. I think in 2026 and beyond, he'll probably end up doing a much better job as far as the in-state side of things. But you're right. I think a perfect example of the California to Alabama and the adjustment from a weather standpoint and the humidity is Najee Harris. He's talked about that in multiple interviews over the years about how tough it was for him when he first got to Alabama, and how, it wasn't just that. It was, him adjusting to the college life, and, he really wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time until the end of that year, and how he was thinking about transferring. And, it wasn't easy for him to transfer. The transfer portal didn't exist. NIL money didn't exist. So, I mean, how tempted would he have been if it was the current system in the way that it's set up to hop out after a tough first season, making that adjustment? I think that's a fair point. At the same time, I think the guys who are really, embrace what, how things are going at Alabama, I think the offensive guys that you recruited, I think they're going to like playing in this system. I think the defensive guys are going to probably like playing in Kane Womack's system. And so you would think, as long as one thing that we have seen from this staff that I think is very encouraging how they operate, Nick Saban was always about, I have to be able to trust you fully before I will put you on a football field in any meaningful situation. With, Kane Womack and them, it's like, hey, if you're a guy who's working really hard, you're doing well in practice that week, you're showing us something, we're going to reward you on Saturdays. We're going to get you out there in some capacity, give you an opportunity to kind of carry that momentum into some of these games, and it creates some situations where there's rotation. It gives guys an incentive to say, hey, I'm a third stringer right now, but if I continue to work my tail off throughout the year, I can earn myself some of this, at least some playing time and help this football team out. And I think that that's a great incentive for them. I think from a depth building standpoint, that's important. And from a rotation standpoint at all these positions, running back, receiver, defensive back, outside linebacker, whatever, it just what it does is it tells these freshmen they'll have an opportunity to play, even if there's some guys locked into the starting jobs over them. And so I think that will certainly benefit compared to the way that a lot of programs operate. And so I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, obviously the transfer portal is always going to be a problem, but I also think that they're managing how things are set up right now pretty well.
Clint Lamb with us. All right, finally, look, I get it's the winged helmet, but it's a 7-5 team out of the Big Ten that's unranked. And Alabama was, the first team out of the playoff, and there was a lot of controversy about that, a lot of discussion about them, a lot of discussion about Miami. I mean, it could have been a way. I mean, how could they not figure out a way to put Alabama and Miami with that history and with those teams being the first two teams out and both of them thinking that they should have been in? How come we're not getting an Alabama-Miami bowl game? We're getting Alabama-Michigan, which sounds sexy, but for Alabama, it's all downside. I mean, you got to go out there. I think the line's 11.5. For Michigan, a chance for them to finish with wins over Ohio State and Alabama in their test and everything else. In Alabama, they beat them by 10, and everybody says, hell, you didn't even cover. What's the big deal? I'm not a big fan of this matchup. What was your thought?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Now, when you look at Michigan's schedule, they lose to Texas, they lose to, Oregon, they lost to Indiana, they lost to, and actually they beat Ohio State, but they lost to 3 playoff teams. They played a lot of good teams really close. So I don't think that they've really struggled as far as, obviously with the forward pass. That's been a massive problem for them this entire season. It's really limited what they could do offensively. But I think this is a better football team than 7-5 indicates. And I agree with you that, it's kind of it's a get-right opportunity for Michigan after a disappointing season. If you can, finish your season with back-to-back wins over Ohio State and Alabama, that's a lot of momentum going into the offseason. But I think Alabama has, some stuff to play for too. And that includes the 10-game winning streak that's been going on at Alabama dating back to 2008. I mean, that's a huge deal. I mean, how many 10-win seasons has some of these other programs in the SEC or really around the country, how many have they had total in the last, 15 to 20 years? I mean, not too many at a lot of places. And so when you've got this kind of streak going, I think that's a lot to play for. I think as far as, Bryce Young and Will Anderson playing a couple of years ago in the bowl game, they were obviously going to be leaving after the season. But as far as, kind of establishing yourself a quality win, getting to the off season while getting some other guys a little bit more, some more opportunities and reps and trying to carry some of that momentum into the off season, I think that's important. Obviously Florida State losing how they did last year, I think that's about the worst way you could start off, or worst way to end the season and try to carry any sort of momentum into the off season. That's obviously affected them this year too. So it's not like Alabama didn't have a lot to play for, but I also agree with you when you look at like the betting line and stuff. You never know the motivational factors in these bowl games. You never know how, certain guys choosing to opt out on both sides is going to matter. It is unfortunate. You would think with all the changes that they've made as far as the college football playoff and all these like bowl tie-ins, and, you end up seeing a 3-loss Alabama who was on the brink of making the college football playoff, playing a barely over 500 Michigan team, or you play, Illinois was kind of the other big option. It's like, you think they'd figure out a way to make some intriguing matchups in these bowls where people really want to pay attention to them, but it just didn't work out that way, and that's unfortunate. But that's college football now. I think the typical bowl matchups, the importance of those, I think it's just something people play at this point. There's not a huge emphasis on creating a lot of drama or, intriguing matchups or whatever. It's more so all that focus is now going on the college football playoff, and that's why, you're seeing the expansion and all that.
Clint Lamb has been our guest. Clint, continue your great work. Cover Crimson is where you can find them. And Clint, keep it up, man. I appreciate it. It was good to catch up.
Absolutely good talking to you, Tom. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Clint Lamb. He was a regular back in the day. All right, we get a break. When we come back, we have our Friday Trifecta. We will reset the Friday Trifecta for you. There's 8 points on the board. 2 points for every correct pick, okay? 3 NFL games and the Army-Navy game. All right, we'll reset it for you. We'll start getting your phone calls going. Go ahead and stack them up now. Last half hour of the week for my show. 256-576-4977. Back with more right after this on the Thom Abraham Show.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
At Wheelchairs for Warriors, serving America's heroes is our mission. With your support, we serve veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty across the United States of America, providing them custom fit, complex rehab mobility solutions to ensure they rejoin their lives at the highest level of independent mobility and function possible. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
I guess you're making those people listening north of the border happy. I guess.
I'm trying to keep it to just college football playoff teams.
Well, that's good to have teams in there to win a national championship once every century or so. Holidays are in full swing. This would be a great time to get on down to Owen Home Appliance Center and snag the complete refrigerator or the complete Frigidaire kitchen when you buy the refrigerator, the fridge, the ridge, and the wave. If you buy the refrigerator, the range, and a microwave, you get the dishwasher free. How about that? That's a pretty cool deal. Even if I can't say it properly, it's a pretty cool deal. You got to get down there and check it out. Their interactive showroom is on Highway 231 in Alabama in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the bridge. So go on there and check that out. Make a great deal. Tell Mike Mowens, Big Dog said, hey. All right, phone lines are open if you want to jump in, 256-576-4977. That'll get you in. They're lined up, so we'll get after it. We start with Brandon. Brandon, welcome in. How are you?
I've been over here with some of the ladies at the Rotary Club laying wreaths. We had a couple guys from around the northwest Georgia area that died in the Battle of the Bulge. It started today, 79 years ago.
Wow. That's it's pretty impressive.
Lasted for 12 days.
Yeah. All right.
Tough dudes, man.
Yeah.
Tough.
Greatest generation. Yeah.
Oh, my son asked me, is Joe in a band? And I told him, yeah. He's in a band called the Three Stooges.
Yeah. Is that a band?
Screw
I don't
you.
know if that's a band. Joe, if you were in a band, are you the bass player, the drummer, electric guitar, lead guitar?
Oh, he's the drummer, dude.
You a drummer, Joe?
Hair would probably say drummer.
Yeah.
I would love to be lead singer. Just, voice is a little unique. But
well, you could be like, wasn't it Don Henley that was the lead singer from the drums? I mean, he was in the back of the Eagles. He was over there playing, or was that Glenn Fry? No, Don Henley. Which one was the drummer? The one that was the drummer was the one of the guys that was one of the main lead singers for the Eagles was the drummer.
Yeah, so I mean but drummer fits the hairstyle a little bit more. I've seen drummers with Hawks.
Yeah.
I think Joe would be fantastic in that. He was watching me watch the video with them, and he just was wondering, was he in a band?
Yeah.
So that was the best name I could think of off the top of my head.
Do you want to get the picks in on this thing, or you just want to talk about drummers and Battle of the Balls?
I do. Let's try to get 8 points.
Because Grumpy is on hold, and he'll eviscerate you guys. If you.
Hey, you know what? If Grumpy don't like it, he can shove it so far up his butt till he likes it. I don't care.
Wow. Brandon
I
getting
don't
all
work
aggressive.
for Grumpy.
Hey, are you coming to the party on Monday?
Don't know. We've got a meeting with the environmental, so it's
Screw the environment.
But if not,
environmental. We got to collect toys for kids. Grumpy will be there. It's where you can tell him, in person how you feel about him.
Well, it's policy. That don't have nothing to do with him as a person. But I mean, if he wants to talk before people, call first.
All right,
Reserving the spot.
So Joe is -7.5 against me. That's Chiefs and Browns.
I'm taking the Chiefs on this one. The refs ain't gonna let them lose this game.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
You guys talk about the Chiefs like they're the Cowboys now. The Bills get 2.5 at the Lions.
And the Lions.
We're going to kick you in the teeth. We're going to bite a kneecap off.
The Steelers get 5.5 at the Eagles.
I'll take the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly!
And Navy gets 6.5 against the Army. And I know you're Air Force, but, got to pick one.
Man, I love them Jolly Roger uniforms, but I think Navy's going to hand it to them. Excuse me, Army's going to hand it to them.
So you're going to take the Army on that one. Right.
I mean, it's Battle of the Bulge Day. How are you going to pick against Army?
That's true to a certain extent. I get that. I feel that.
Well, Merry Christmas.
All right. I hope we see you
all
Monday.
the good folks out there, and I hope that y'all get lots of toys for your drive. And if I don't make it, I will make a donation.
Well, we always appreciate you. You know that, Brandon. All right. Thanks for the call. It's a good job by you. Sounded like he was on a bit of a delay. Sounded like it was Ray Dog.
Yeah, mentally, just on a little bit of a delay.
Well, I'll tell you, let's go to Grumpy. Because, he got a little aggressive right off the bat with Grumpy there. All I said was, it's Football Friday and you might want to, get your picks in. And he just immediately went to shovel where the sun don't shine.
No,
Grumpy, what'd you think of that?
He went immediately to putting things in people's butts. So whatever.
Well, just letting you guys know that Orgy just entered the transfer portal. So, since we're talking about all this, there's an Orgy in the transfer portal.
Wait a minute. Wasn't he the starting quarterback for Michigan?
Yeah, he's now in the transfer portal. So
as the starting quarterback for Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sounds like a fun portal, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna have fun in the portal.
I mean, we're talking about the Battle of the Bulge and sticking things somewhere. Just
yeah, right.
Speaking of the Battle of the Bulge, man, I'm having to get a new sport coat. I'm getting too big, man. I got to get another one.
Well, don't do that. I mean, you need to let's you and me make a pact. Let's lose 40 pounds in the first 6 months of the new year, because we don't want to die. I don't want to lose you. I don't have enough listeners to be losing guys. So you're out there doing that physical work. You know, you get too big, you're going to keel over.
Yeah. Hey, but listen, man, how come? I just thought of it. How come you guys don't have? You guys need to get a tailor or a suit store or something as a sponsor. Seems like they would go for a sport thing.
Do you remember 100 years ago we had? Oh, Joe, what's the haberdasher in the mall right there at Park Place Mall? Was it Penny's or was it somebody? We had somebody in it that did suits, and every year, the day after, you know who had set it up was Matt Peralt. And every year, the day after Thanksgiving, on Black Friday, we would have to do the show from the suit department at Penny's or wherever it was. Yeah, and they paid, instead of getting cash for the talent fee, they paid us in a suit. They gave us a suit. We got which wasn't bad. Yeah, got like a $200 suit for doing the show.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start off with the Chiefs.
All right, so you're going to take the Chiefs. You're taking Joe.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
What about the Bills getting 2.5 at the Wolverine Dan?
I'll go with the Lions.
We're going to bite a kneecap off. We're going to kick you in the teeth.
Steelers get 5.5 at the Eagles.
Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Navy gets 6.5 against the Army in Washington.
Army.
I love the over in that
on
game.
On the scale of 1 to 10, how excited are Alabama fans about playing Michigan? And that's not a joke. I'm just asking. Thanks.
About playing Michigan or about playing anybody?
He gone. He hung up on himself.
No, I know. I'm thinking. I was thinking out loud about playing Michigan. I can't speak for Tide Nation. I will say I'm not very excited about it at all. There's no value in beating Michigan. They're not Michigan of last year. It's Michigan 7-5. I am not really that excited about it. I would have much rather played Miami. I can't even think of anybody else other than Miami that I would have wanted to play. I think Alabama, Miami, that would have been intriguing. Alabama pound the snot out of them. Maybe. About playing Michigan, I don't think Alabama I just don't feel like the upside is there. I don't feel like it's there. All right, we're going to break. We come back. My cousin Vinny is in the leadoff role. When we return, you can jump in right behind him if you'd like. 256-576-4977 will get you into the show. I learned something yesterday that surprised me a little bit. I might get that in. We'll see. Thom Abraham Show. Back with more right after this.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Brought to you by G-Bank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. VSiN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
NFL Week 15 will start on Thursday night when the San Francisco 49ers take on the LA Rams at Levi's Stadium. The Niners are 6-7, and they will continue the rest of the season without running back Christian McCaffrey. While the Rams have won 6 of their last 8, got healthy, and now it's 7-6. One game back of Seattle for the division lead. San Francisco has dropped 3 of 4. The 49ers are a 3-point home favorite, -105 against the spread. The Rams getting the 3 points are -115. On the money line, Los Angeles is at +130. San Francisco -150 with the over-under sitting at 49.5. For VSiN.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Mostly clear sky expected for this Friday night. Temperatures going to fall into the low 40s for the overnight. Heading into our Saturday, scattered showers going to be possible mainly in the afternoon. Otherwise, you can expect to see mostly clouds. High temperatures topping out in the upper 50s. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Joe, did we know that the Rick and Bubba show was ending today? Did you hear that?
I knew that it was wrapping up. I did not know that today was the official final day.
Brandon just sent me a text that today was the last day of the Rick and Bubba show, and Rick Burgess apparently is going to go off on his own, which never seems to work out a lot of times when shows that are long time, something like the Rick and Bubba show, right? I mean, I saw this up north in Boston with a couple of big-time sports shows that had two hosts, and the two hosts couldn't stand each other anymore, and they went off on their own, and they both sucked, But I had no idea that Rick and Bubba was coming to an end. Yeah? So that was a long run, man. That was a long, good run by Rick and Bubba. I've met Burgess, but I'd never met Bubba. Never met that dude.
And to kind of tie this all into to the show in the state, Rick also has a lot to do with Jacksonville State football, who's now looking for a brand new head coach because Rich Rod was just introduced as West Virginia's brand new head coach.
How has Bill Clark not got that job already? I mean, what is the point here?
Look, Bill Clark, I will take yes.
Yeah.
That man right there is an automatic bowl game. Just getting him on your team. Getting him as your head coach.
Well, I mean, he had to quit because he had the back issues. His back is 100% now. He says he's healthy.
When you're carrying an entire university and you're having to rebuild a program from dirt because the school killed it, I mean, your back's going to hurt.
That's a good point. Now, he spent the last year as the color commentator on Gamecocks football on the ESPN Plus feed of Gamecocks football. I mean, he's right there.
I mean,
literally could just get out of the booth and go right down to the field and start coaching the team.
It's a technicality
how
at this
long are
point.
they going to? Yeah. How long are they going to wait to name Bill Clark the head football coach at Jacksonville State? And then in another year of Trent Dilfer destroying UAB, he could go back to UAB too.
Oh no, honestly he's too good for UAB right now. Like that is, and especially if he comes back to Jack State, continues to get them wins.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, again, I would take him at Auburn over Hugh Freeze right now. He's the program builder, and he will build it, and he will do amazing things for Jack State if they hire him.
My cousin Vinny is up. Vincenzo, welcome in. How are you? Oh, did we lose Vinny?
He's there. Vinny!
Vinny!
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my mute button on, Tom. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, that mute button will do it. I am fantastic.
That's great to hear. Great to hear. Well, I'm glad you two finally got done whining the first half hour of the show about how much work you have to do, and you don't have enough people pushing buttons there for you. I'm rolling my eyes.
We don't have enough
saying,
buttons.
You still have the best job in the world, and they're complaining about it for the first half hour of the show.
We need more button pushers. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it was 8 minutes, but yeah, you're right. I mean, we who are we to complain? I mean, there's no doubt about it. You are 100% right. I stand corrected, Vinny. The job is fantastic. I worry about Joe. I mean, he's got more to do than I do. I'm just sitting here bumping my gums.
Yeah, I mean, it was mainly Tom complaining, but I mean, just hey. I mean, just hey.
Gentlemen, just remember this: if you have a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So
that's true.
That's my
which is the reason why I don't mind being here as much as I am, because this is fun. This is a blast.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I tell my sons all the time. I told them right from the beginning when they were coming up, and they'd say, well, what's the key and everything else? I say, here's the key: find something you absolutely love, and figure out a way to get people to pay you to do it. That's the key to work. Is just find something. Don't just go get some job. Find something you love to do. I have a son that loves building motorcycles, and now he's a motorcycle mechanic. I got a son that loves trading property, and he's in real estate. I got another son that loves radio. He owns a radio station, and then I got John. Yeah. Well, who the hell knows what he was?
No, and honestly, going into porn is kind of frowned upon, so I had to find something else.
Well, there you go, Joe. There you go. Tom, how do I want to be a college football insider? How do I make money doing that?
You got to write some really good stuff, submit it to some websites, and actually break some news. Get something out there. Don't just make it up like a lot of these places do. If you come up with something good, somebody's going to say, "Hey, I got to pay you to do that."
Well, I broke the Tyler Buckner story a year ago.
You broke the Dylan Lonergan to be the starter at Alabama 2 years ago, right here on this show.
We know where he is. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You were the one that told us that your aunt's nephew is a roommate with somebody who is a walk-on at Alabama, and they told you that Dylan Lonergan is going to be that. Did you, Joe? To my cousin Vinny story? That's how he ended up my cousin Vinny. I don't even remember his name anymore. I mean, he was my cousin Vinny because he called and he says, "Look, my cousin has a nephew who is a roommate of a walk-on at Alabama, and they're telling me that Dylan Lonergan is going to be the coach." So
dang,
it was like the 5 degrees of Vinny. So he became my cousin Vinny. My cousin Vinny, and that's where he got his handle.
And it's all in good fun. We Joe, we're all blessed with a sense of humor, and that's a good thing. Someone asked me.
I want to say John. I want to say John. Right? That's your given name? Is that the name that the family gave you back when you were born?
No.
It's not John.
Well, you made fun of it the other day. I said my name's Todd, and you said, "Well, hey, if I was Todd." Yeah, if my name was Todd, I'd rather be called Vinny too. So
I would rather be called Todd. Nobody's named Todd anymore.
Yeah, I'll be straight with you, Vinny. That you don't fit the name Todd.
No, he sounds like a Vinny. He sounds like. Hey, you going to be at the party Monday? I always like seeing you.
I am.
Okay, beautiful.
That's the plan. Real quick, okay, and I know I got to run because I'm almost up against a break. Last year, you mentioned about Wolverine Dan and what a good heart he has. Last year, I ate at the same table right across from Wolverine Dan and Wolverine Ginger. And hey, Dan takes a lot of grief because, like you said, he's Wolverine Dan. But I will tell you, he and Ginger are good people. Really good
great people.
And I had a lot of fun dining with him last year, and I look forward to seeing him again this year. So yes, I will eat at the party.
Do you want to get these in quick, or do you got Joe is -4.5 at me?
You.
Bills +2.5 at the Lions.
Lions.
Steelers +5.5 at the Eagles.
Steelers.
And Navy +6.5 against Army.
Army.
All right, we got you in, Vinny. We'll see you on Monday.
All right, have a great weekend, everybody.
You too. All right, we'll get a break, and when we come back, Wolverine Dan is up. Phil the Blacksmith is up. Wolverine Dan got his picks in already, but apparently the recital, the Christmas recital, is over, and he's on the line. So we'll see if we can get these guys in on the other side of this break. It's the Thom Abraham Show. We'll come back and wrap it up next.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
No other radio station in Alabama has 2 voters for the Heisman Trophy.
Winner of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is...
Listen to Steve Moulton and Scott Tyson. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Chubby Ninja says that it's Bubba that is now the assistant AD at Jacksonville State, not Rick Burgess. Rick will continue to show in a different format with several other people who are on the show. So
I apologize.
There you go.
Right concept, wrong person. Sorry about that.
Well, our listeners, that's what's great about them. They can just always correct us on all the mistakes that we made, which is fine. All right, let's get to the lines and see if we can knock some of these out. Styles is up first. Styles was in the Navy band for years and was involved in being a band leader and all that other kind of stuff as well. And so we haven't heard from him in a minute. Styles, how you doing? Mr. Styles.
Hey, Mr. Abraham, how you doing, my brother?
I am fantastic. How you been?
I thought I might have a little bit of aspect or some attention to put. I was my last 10 years in the Navy. I was in the Naval Academy band. I was in the Navy's top rock band that happened to be stationed at the Naval Academy called the Electric Brigade. But part of our duties were to go to the Army Navy games every year.
Nice.
Darn. Yeah. And so I went to 10. I attended 10 Army Navy games. I was a part of the on-field pomp and circumstance, sat in the stadiums. When you're at the Naval Academy, they want us all to look like officers, especially in that situation. So even though we were enlisted, we wore all the officers' outerwear and everything like that. So, but it was pretty cool. It was always the cold. I got to tell you, it was in Philadelphia most of the time, and I remember it being the coldest day. It seemed like God waited until that day to make it as cold as He could.
It's a bucket list thing for me. I haven't been, and I really want to go. It is I just wish they would just once. Can you bring it down to the dirty South one time? I mean, are we not protected by the Army and the Navy too? Can we come play this thing in Atlanta or in Nashville or maybe in the new stadium in Nashville? Or I mean, just come down here one time. That's all. They played it in California.
Cool. You know, they have that tradition where they run the ball from whatever academy won it last time to the next point that they play. That'd be a hell of a run. Yeah,
well, I didn't. Well, they're halfway here. They're in Washington. They're in Washington, so it's not too far to run from Washington to Nashville or Washington to Atlanta. Either way,
not too far. Well, they ran 300 miles from West Point to Washington and arrived there today right around noon. With their marathon team. So I mean, that's the kind of thing they do for that game. It's kind of cool.
It is cool. All right.
But, yeah, man. Can I get in on the trifecta, or is it too late?
You can get in. The Chiefs are -4.5 at the Browns.
Give me the Chiefs.
The Bills get 2.5 at the Lions.
Oh, man. I'm going with the Lions.
The Steelers get 5.5 at the Eagles.
Eagles.
And I'm just going to give you Navy +6.5.
I got to take Navy. I cannot take Army.
Of course you do.
Go Navy, beat Army. Yep.
All right, man.
Filled in, man.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Love you. Bye.
If you listen real close, Joe, you can hear Styles playing in there. Did you hear him? That's him on the horn.
That was recorded first, right?
Yeah. Well, I think he played on the original. You know, when they recorded that.
Because losing team goes first.
Oh, that's harsh. Just had a guy that worked in the Navy band for 10 years, and you're busting his chops like that.
Just saying, it probably went first. I'm just making an assumption based on 11-1 team.
All right, if you want to get in on the trifecta, you can do it. You got all the way until kickoff tomorrow, the Army-Navy game, to get in. So you can just do that at the text window, 732-982-7469. I apologize to those of you that we didn't get on the show. Coming up next, it's the Paul Feinbaum Show. For Joe, I'm Tom. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Selfish is one word. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan and a handful of players, tight end George Kittle and cornerback Jarvarius Ward among them, are using to describe what linebacker Devondre Campbell did during the loss to the Rams. He refused to enter the game, told coaches he didn't want to play, and left the field. Campbell lost his starting job when Dre Greenlaw